and welcome to Pixies, Bigfoot, and other news. Today we have a bit of a mashup video. I fought hard not to call this PB&J, but I couldn't think of a word for J. We have about 5 different topics to discuss that really don't fit together other than they're all paranormal related. 2 of which I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, but really couldn't figure out how to do so without making an extremely short video. So I figured this would be the best way to do it, and I hope you find the information interesting. Starting off, a few days ago I was looking over my Facebook page when I saw an image that was posted by one of my longtime viewers who goes by the name Dragon Morgan. This image shows an intriguing notice from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, or DCNR, that really is thought-provoking. It states, "Due to encounters in the area of a creature resembling Bigfoot, we are instructing all park visitors to observe elevated park etiquette." This notice then mentions about keeping track of small children and pets. It then goes on to advise people to not approach the creature and to report all sightings to DCNR authorities. What really is odd is that it ends with saying not to report anything on social media. When I saw this posting, my jaw about hit the floor, since it was really weird, and the fact that they didn't want social media posts really made things mysterious. This certainly looked like proof of acknowledgement that a Bigfoot exists, and that the Park Services was wanting to keep a tight lid clamped on any sightings. Now, I know Pennsylvania, much like other states, excluding Hawaii of course, has quite a few Bigfoot sightings, so this seemed plausible. So I got to work trying to track this down and attempted to uncover what information I could about it. Details were scarce, but I did see one single blog talking about it. Some claimed it had to be fake due to it being stapled onto a tree. While this is odd, having worked for the Park Services before, I knew it wasn't out of the question to be done if need be. If they needed to quickly warn park visitors about a possible dangerous animal roaming the forests, then it might not be feasible to acquire proper hanging materials. The lowercase p in Pennsylvania was a red flag to me, as well as others on the blog. However, in looking into the most recent design of DCNR, I see that it most certainly looks the same. So this left us with little to go on. Luckily, and I will add sadly, it was revealed that DCNR was asked on Twitter about this signage, and they stated that it wasn't an official posting and they would be on the lookout to remove any that they see. Of course, the conspiracy theorist side of me says this could be a cover, especially since it states they didn't want this brought to social media, and here it was being talked about on social media. My gut tells me that something seems off with the notice, but I can't figure out what it is. Yet, I have to relent that this may actually be a hoax. I suppose only time will tell, since we all know any sightings won't stay quiet for too long. Next up, I wanted to talk to you about a paranormal channel that you may not be watching, but I feel you certainly need to be. I have briefly talked about it in a previous Real vs. Real video, but things have really taken a dramatic change as of late. This would be the British YouTuber known as Erwin Saunders. This isn't a small channel in the least, since it has over 300,000 subscribers, but I don't know how many people actually know about him, with the massive amounts of channels on YouTube. His videos are focused on the topic of pixies or forest people, trolls, and recently something he calls a cave worm. Unlike channels like my own, he doesn't give you the history or lore about these beings, but actually goes out into the forest and records their activity. To date, he has quite a few videos, and they sort of follow a pattern like episodes in a TV show, where they're all interlinked. Let's be clear, even in the Real vs. Real video about it, I left the decision open-ended since, well, let's just say that I appreciate the uploads for what they are, if you catch my drift. Regardless of all of that, he has the most genuine personality, interesting videos, and the whole production is pure and heartwarming. In his series, he talks about different types and behaviors. In the past, he made a video where he was attacked by a couple of the beings. Recently, he has shown them wearing war masks, and in a really fascinating entry, he encounters a cave where a quite convincing cave worm lives. While the location he films at is never named, some have gathered that it may be in the forest of Alderley Edge in Cheshire. This series really doesn't need examined too deeply if it is real or not, only due to it being fun to watch and all of it is good-natured. The truth is certainly out there about what is really going on, but sometimes the curtain shouldn't be removed from the wizard. What is fascinating is that with how cold the internet can be, I see more people taking my standpoint and simply wanting to enjoy the content for what it is. I highly recommend taking a moment to visit his channel, since I am sure you will find yourself watching more than one of his videos. I do see that he actually sells artwork he draws of these beings, but he rarely ever mentions it, and they're rather cheap. Full disclosure, I don't have any connections to Erwin and haven't even talked to him. I am mentioning him to you simply because he has a rare channel that makes you feel good watching, and he is one of the few that I'll give a pass to when it comes to whether it's real or not. In a bit of exciting news, I have an upcoming project in the works that should prove interesting. In June of this year, I had a conversation with the guys over at the Controversial Science channel. Well, last week, they reached out to me wanting to know if I'd be interested in coming onto the program again, but this time to talk about Mothman. Of course, when it comes to Mothman, I'm always willing to talk. What makes this event special is that they reached out to Lon Strickler from the Phantoms and Monsters website, and he agreed to be part of the show as well. Not only does he have a vast array of paranormal reports on his site, but he has also written a few books on the topic. One of these books even involves flying cryptid sightings. So, I am really excited by this and think it should make for an interesting conversation. The exact day hasn't been finalized, but it will be in October. Of course, I will keep you all posted when the date is finally figured out. Finally, I'll end this video with an explanation and some very interesting information. As of late, my uploads, outside of the Cryptid by State series, has been rather hit or miss. Not only this, but my involvement in the comment section has been quite lacking as well. For all this, I apologize, and do keep in mind that even if I don't respond to your comments, I do read them. The reason behind all this craziness is due to my work schedule. All last week, I was day shift, which makes it tough to find time to make a video, especially Sunday going into Monday. However, for the foreseeable future, I will now be on the graveyard shift of 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. This will make things better, other than this coming week I only have Friday off. So, as a heads up, I probably won't be uploading anything this coming weekend. Although the one after that, I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, so expect a new video then. I mention all this so that you know that I may be hit or miss, but I will keep uploading as much as possible. You can be sure that I'll do my best to never miss a Cryptid by State upload at the very least. We do have Halloween coming up soon, and you know I'll be working on a display for our house this year. Be on the lookout for that video as well, since I always post what we make each season. Now, I hope you stayed with me through that last part, because I do have some really interesting paranormal news relating to my job. I currently am a maintenance worker in a hospital. No one really knows that I have a YouTube channel about the paranormal, but I was shocked this week when a fellow coworker randomly started talking to me about paranormal events at the facilities. According to him, the one building, which used to be a Catholic school and even has a cemetery behind it, has quite a few sightings of full-bodied apparitions. In a different building that is locked at night, he described hearing the sounds of footsteps and rattling keys. In looking into this, I found quite a few stories from former employees about the main hospital, where weird bells are heard, footsteps echo down the halls, apparitions have been seen on security cameras, and even physical interactions take place while at night. Being this is going to be the first time I've been on the graveyard shift, I fully expect to hopefully have some interesting stories to share with you all. Paranormal research groups have not been allowed to investigate the area, so I may have the unique opportunity to try to capture something for the very first time. Obviously, I will be focusing on my work, but if the stories are true, then that means we may have some interesting tales to talk about in the near future. Before closing this out, I did have something that I wanted to mention that involves your opinion. In a goal to continually add different content to the channel, I've been mulling over something in my mind. Would you be interested in seeing a few videos where I react to quote-unquote paranormal videos? I know reaction channels are a dime a dozen on here, but I've been wanting to do it in a way that may be a little different. Rather than simply overreacting to something paranormal, like most channels, I would like to present it in a loose format to a real versus real series. In that, I would react to it, but more in the way of trying to find out the truth behind each clip. Yes, this would also mean that I would be finally on camera. Let me know what you think. I know this wasn't my normal type of video, but there were just a few random things that I wanted to talk about and couldn't figure out how to do it. Before anyone worries, no, I'm not running out of singular topics to talk about. If you haven't yet done so, do please consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Also, it would be greatly appreciated if you share my videos with someone you know who may enjoy this type of genre. With that, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.